Hi, this is Ryan Neal from the USA offices of Neal's Saddlery and Harness, Cowboy Sewing Machines, and High-Tech Sewing Machines. And today we're going to add to our video series. This would be video number 2 for the supplemental video series that we're doing on operational features for the Cowboy Outlaw. So in this video I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the accessories that come with the machine. Again, this would be the different little tidbits and so forth that would come in the package with the machine when you do receive it. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the Bobbin Winder. The Bobbin Winder will come packaged in a small bag with some additional parts. We talked about this in the previous video that we did. The second thing you're going to get is a bag of mounting bolts. There should be 4 mounting bolts. These again are calibrated to the appropriate size for the holes that are on the Cowboy Outlaw. We generally, when we mount this, only use 3 holes instead of 4. The 4th hole that's in the back here, a lot of times we do not use because there's a plastic cover that gets in the way of the hole. But I don't want you guys to feel compelled to use that 4th hole. Yes, you probably could use it if you wanted to, but it's not required. 3 bolts will more than sufficiently hold the machine onto the stand. You'll also get 3 extra bobbins that come with the machine. And these bobbins are aluminum style bobbins. They're the same bobbins as what we use in some of our higher grade sewing machines. There'll also be a bobbin installed in the machine, and the machine will be threaded and tested as well with the sewing sample in it. In addition to that, you'll receive an assortment of springs, and these are springs that are attached to the back side of the sewing machine. They're used for different components in the machine. We send you an extra assortment of springs just in case a spring should happen to fly off or you should miss it. We also give you an assortment of needles, a couple needles that will come with the machine. We also give you a small assortment of screws. These would be extra commonly replaced screws that come with the machine. And then we also include some E-clips. There are certain parts on this machine that are attached by E-clip, and so we also include some of those just in case you happen to miss a part. In addition to that, we include these very thin rounded discs. And these discs are actually Shim Disks that are used behind the shuttle hook assembly of the machine. If you were to remove this cover, as well as remove these 2 screws and pull this gold colored race out of the machine, you'll see that there'll be a ring back behind that. If you install these shims behind the ring, it has the effect of pushing the shuttle hook closer to the needle. So for instance, if you're using a very small needle, a very thin needle, there is sometimes the need to have the hook move to the left-hand side a little bit to take up the distance between the tip of the hook and the needle. And that's what these shims allow you to do. They allow you to space the inner ring, which is back behind here, closer to the needle, which will allow the hook to ride closer to the needle. So remember, if you do wish to use these rings, you'll take off this ring, this gold retaining ring, remove the hook from the machine. Behind that, you will also remove a small ring that looks similar to this, but it's also thicker. And then behind that ring, you will install these Shim Disks. So if you have any questions on that, please feel free to give me a call. Generally, you don't need to do that operation, even if you switch to a smaller needle. But just in case, we have included those Shim Disks in case that was something that arises during your operation of the machine. The other thing which you will receive, and we do get a lot of questions about this, is you get this bag that has some steel tubes in it and also some plastic discs. This is an auxiliary thread stand that we send with the machine in case you wanted to not use the internal mounted thread stand that normally mounts on the top of the machine. Sometimes you do run into an issue with the thread getting hung up under this thread stand. So if this creates too many problems, we have this thread stand that we include with the machine. This stand requires that you drill an approximate 3/4 inch diameter hole down through your work surface. Then the thread stand attaches to the work surface through the hole. I'm going to show you guys a picture of what this thread stand looks like totally assembled. So if you see up here, one of the rods fits horizontally across 2 vertical rods that are joined together with a clamping system. And then if you look here, you'll see there's another horizontal rod that runs across. The 2 plastic discs which were in this bag attach here and here. And then there's also a thread post which goes here and here. Other than that, it's pretty easy. If you look at a picture of this, and I'm going to fan this up and down a little bit so you guys can get a good look at what this looks like when it's put together. and you'll be able to pretty much look at the individual component parts that come in that bag, and you should be able to come up with pretty much how this thing goes together. Again, this would be the nut that's used to attach on the bottom side of the work surface, as well as a spacer washer and a small rubber washer, which is used to absorb vibration. So that's pretty much what this thing looks like when it's totally assembled. So again, if you have any questions on how to assemble your thread stand, there's a lot of different places on the internet that show pictures of industrial sewing machine thread stands assembled. So you could simply go to Google and do a Google search on industrial sewing machine thread stand, and you'll be able to see fairly easily how that thread stand's put together. So if you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to call me directly. My name is Ryan Neal from the USA offices of Neal's Saddlery and Harness, Cowboy Sewing Machines, and High-Tech Sewing Machines, and we do hope you have a nice day. Thank you.